The final leg of the Daily Brief today begins right now, where we begin by taking you back to Consolata Shrine, where the memorial service of those that lost their lives during the Dusit attack is currently ongoing. If we may listen in to the service so far.
Heroism and sacrifice will last forever. You were all remarkable people. Beatrice, you were one of the gentlest people I know. You even smiled when you were sad. You were so thoughtful and so compassionate. In all the noisy confusion around, your gentle stoicness was greatly admired. Let Beatrice's departure remind us to be soft, not to let the world make us hard, not to let the pain make us hate, and not to let the bitterness steal our sweetness. Beatrice, you will be a constant reminder that only the gentle are ever really strong. Bernadette, she was fierce, she was strong, she wasn't simple, and she always had something to say. She strutted her clothes, but her most stylish outfit was her self-confidence. You were my colleague, but also my friend. And I shall forever cherish the plant you gave me, which will be a constant reminder of your wonderful personality. At the end, fierce was your needle, and you most certainly wore it like a sword. Erickson, you brought flavor to our lives. You personified the Kenyan Thai spirit that our hotel stands for, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Trefosa, I admired your quiet dignity and integrity. They say a clean home is a happy home. Thank you for keeping our home happy. I will miss our daily conversations and laughs about my OCD, which eventually caught up with you too. Shine bright, you will be dearly missed. Dedricks and Zachary, you are our warriors. You were soldiers who made us feel safer every day with your selflessness until the very end. There is no greater act of God than that. We remain forever indebted. Thank you all for being a part of our journey. You are Dusit's children, and you are God's children. The life given to us by nature may be short, but the memory of a life well spent is eternal. To my colleagues who are here during this time of sorrow, you have shown grace and resilience, and for that I could not be prouder. You remind us that together there is nothing we cannot overcome, and you give us inspiration to look ahead. Whilst we're united in grief, we're also united in something much bigger. No one will keep our light from shining. As we conduct ourselves as individuals and as a family, we have the opportunity each and every day to live up to the sacrifice for those that we have lost. And terror will not stop us from carrying on. Let us look forward with confidence, passion, and purpose. Dusit D2 Nairobi will forever be a symbol of tenacity. We are unbowed. We shall rebuild, and we shall continue. We will come back with more radiance than ever before. As Ratan Tata said in a similar situation, we can be hurt, but not knocked out. God bless you, and God bless Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you, Ami. My heart goes out to you and the larger family. Next, I will invite the Tourism Principal Secretary, Mr. Joe Kudo, to say a few remarks.
Good morning, everyone. As you've heard, my name is Joe Kudo. I'm the Principal Secretary for Tourism in the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. I stand here to represent the Cabinet Secretary who was unable to come for this service today because he's out of the country, Honorable Najib Balala. I did not come here alone. I have teams from the ministry, teams from the sector, who came here to stand in solidarity, to show our resolve to continue and ensure that this vice of the act of terror does not survive in this and has no place in this country, Kenya, and indeed in Nairobi. I'll pause for a minute and ask sector representatives to please just stand up so that it can be counted in this call of solidarity. Please, wherever you are, just stand up for 2 seconds and wave at the crowd. Yeah. There are more, but today is not our day, but we are in solidarity with you. So I'll read the Cabinet Secretary's speech. On behalf of the Ministry, I take this opportunity to condole with the family and relatives and friends of the staff of Dusit D2 Hotel who lost their lives in the despicable attack and act of terror on 14 Riverside Drive. That goes to the families of Beatrice, Benedette, Trufosa, Erickson, Dedrick, and Zachary, who we've heard tributes about the role and the bravery that they played on that particular day, leading perhaps to their death. But we still recognize them as heroes. This attack was not only an attack to the hotel, to Kenya, but an attack on humanity. And we must find a way all together to put this to an end. It has no place in this world. It has no place for us whatsoever. And as a government, we condemn it, and we'll do everything necessary to see that this comes to an end, and all those involved in any one way will be punished and brought to book. My deepest sympathies and condolences go out to the largest D2 Hotel family and the entire tourism fraternity. We wish those in hospital a quick recovery. As a ministry, we stand with you during this trying moment and pray to God to give you strength and courage. We pledge our support and assure you of the government's commitment in strengthening the tourism industry sector and providing the requisite security. We look forward to the reopening of the hotel, and we are available at short notice to do anything possible to make this happen. We will be in big numbers, your first guests when you open. We thank our security agencies for their swift and effective response, which prevented further unnecessary losses of innocent lives, as we have seen today. We wish to reassure our visitors that magical Kenya remains a safe destination to visit and do business in, and in that regard, when Dusit does open, let's come all to demonstrate this to the rest of the world that we will not be cowards. Thank you very much. Signed by Honorable Najib Balala. Thank you.
And from the Consolata Shrine, we come back right here in studio to wind up the show today. It's okay, by the way. Lazima tuongee or enjoy. You're tapping Omulo. We are back. It's fine. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. All right. It's allowed. Yeah. So we need to wind up today's conversation. And thank you so much for those of you that have been participating and keeping us company all the way since 10 a.m. Gentlemen, a lot we've said in regards to youth involvement and participation in the Big Four agenda. I don't know whether you still feel misunderstood. Omulo, do you feel government can reach out to the youth more when it comes to this issue of Big Four?
Of course, as I said earlier, we are the majority, and we have been taken for granted. We have good policies. We have Employment Authority Bill in place. We have National Youth Policy. We have all the youth funds in place that are meant to help young entrepreneurs grow. But you see, we have not integrated all these funds together and all these strategies to come up with a way that young people now will tap into the opportunities directly. And that's why I was blaming my MCA here, because he is not providing a solution. But I look forward to a situation whereby the government will come up with a clear framework and strategy that will help us now integrate the Big Four agenda under the affirmative action. And at the same time, the county government must now come up with a youth board. This youth board will develop policies that will help follow up and also provide checks and balances in terms of giving tenders. Because when you talked about tenders, the men and the older people have taken advantage, and they register some few young people who are just there as ghosts. You know, they are not really young people, but they do business with that name. So they pretend that we have already given tenders to the young people, but indeed they are benefiting directly.
Well, they may not be young, but they are youthful.
They are youthful politically, but not in real sense. Yeah. And I'm looking for a situation. I wanted to even to give him an idea. Yes. We have so many investors in this country. Why can't we come up with a corporate mentorship policy, whereby if you've registered a company, you can now be mentored, just like when you are getting attachment. You can be mentored by this company to start getting some small tenders that will give you capital now to go for bigger tenders. Those are some things that is supposed to be discussing, not saying that we are in groups. Groups nowadays are outdated. What we need to do is to consolidate efforts. Let us come up with a board that will help us prosper in this country.
Yeah, you know one thing. One thing I never do. I never promise what I cannot deliver. You know, these big sounding names, they are dropped everywhere, then they amount to nothing. With me, I like being very practical. For example, one of the areas I've been trying really to look into is this issue of telling a youth, you come with the experience of 7 years, and he's just newly graduated. Where does he gain, or he or she gain that one? Yeah. So, from where I come from, you know me, I come from the grassroots. And, for example, even last week, I was meeting youths from my area. We were discussing sports empowerment. But as they do that, you cannot just live on sports alone. We can start programs like beekeeping, goat farming, such things. Okay. That's what I mean. I like being practical. My final word is, thank you very much for this show.
You're welcome.
When I go back there, because now I'm going back to the grassroots, kufanyia wajiko kazi. Watu waashe kusoma siasa mingi for what the president did. The Jubilee government is very, very much strong. Thank you.
Very quickly. Yes, very quickly. I'm a bit concerned that many young people start up businesses that don't go past the incubation period of about, 1,000 days? Yeah. And the problem is they lack a lot of guidance and mentorship programs whereby they're guided as to how to make their businesses work for them. It would be good if, from the grassroots level, the MCA, governors, and the executive think of a model of grooming young people into business. I'll tell you what. When you look at, for instance, the US, you have what you'd call the Hollywood that has brought out a multi-billionaire industry through film, using your talents to be able to make money. You have the musicians as well. Music is a multi-billionaire business in the US. India has followed suit with their Bollywood and everything. What I'd urge is that we'd want to have a setup whereby young people are groomed and are mentored into business. And I'll tell you what, Sam, yeah. I'm a bit glad and I'm happy to be associated with Talanta Mtaani, where we are bringing up young people and grooming young people's talents to make money. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Omulo, I can see your hand literally up. But we're going to get the opportunity another time, kindly, because time is definitely not on our side. I need to take you to Consolata Shrine, where the memorial service for those that lost their lives during the Dusit attack is currently ongoing. My name is Samuel Njoroge. Thank you so much for watching the show today, and thank you, gentlemen, for coming in this day. I leave you with the Mass at Consolata Shrine. After the Mass, we shall be listening into Tony Timase, who will be coming up with Inside Business. Good afternoon.
Of our Dusit family. That we lost them in such tragic circumstance is heartbreaking. Unfortunately, the sad reality of today is that there are those who will stop at nothing to bring chaos to our world. And sometimes they succeed. However, in the darkness, we must try not to forget that there's always light. And as a global family, we must grasp hold of and nurture this light together and forever. By supporting each other through these difficult times, I'm sure we will all prevail. And by continuing to strive for excellence in the face of adversity, we will honor the memory of those who have lost and demonstrated that acts of terror will never dictate the way we lead our lives. The outpouring of support for Dusit D2 Nairobi from our Dusit fans worldwide has been heartening. And I greatly appreciate every comment we have received. Please join me in harnessing this global positivity to help each other regroup, rebuild, and restore the light we know shines brightly in everyone's heart. May all of them rest in peace, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Kunlim. It's a sad day as we honor our friends and their memories. And we'd like to thank all of you individually for your thoughts, concerns, and prayers. To the families, our condolences once again. I'd like to leave you with these words. We shall overcome. In the name of the Lord Almighty, we shall overcome.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the clergy, I call upon Father George, who will talk on behalf of the clergy of our deanery, just to give a word of condolence.
Good afternoon, everyone. So on behalf of the clergy from the Central Deanery, I've been requested by my boss, who preached, to speak on behalf of the priest. And first, I would like to give our condolences to the family and the friends of all those who were attacked, those who lost their lives. And we want to promise you that we are praying for you. When this happened, it affected all of us. We've been praying for you, and we continue to pray for you. I also want, in a very special way, to assure you of our support as clergy and the support of all the Christian members within our deanery and in the archdiocese and in the whole country. This was a national event. This was a national, something that affected the whole nation. And therefore, you can be assured of the prayers of all good people in this country. In a very special way, I want to thank all people who came out to support the people who were attacked. I want to thank the security members, the media, the workers, and everybody who came and who gave their help. Whatever small it was, even just praying that all will be well, even just giving information, we want to appreciate you and to ask the good Lord to continue to protect you. And therefore, before I sit, I want to say something. During the preaching, Father Stephen reminded us of the value of life, that life is sacred from its beginning to its natural end. And in nature, every living being always wants or tends to preserve life. Even animals want to preserve life. And sometimes it is really terrible when you see human beings wanting to destroy their own life and the lives of the others. And that shows that something is very wrong and something needs to be done. So the question I keep asking myself is, life is so nice. Life is so precious. Life is so amazing. And